We're going to talk about some ranges today. The reason a lot of our money comes back is through those shooters, buying those guns, that ammunition. Those things actually go back to conservation, and about 75% of shooters actually don't hunt.
Wow.
So we're kind of working with that data to kind of figure out how do we cater to them, or how do we reach out to them and let them know that they're helping conservation as well, because some of them don't even know that. Most of them don't care. They're like, that's great, because it's a good thing. Obviously, most people like warm and fuzzy things, and critters are kind of warm and fuzzy sometimes. So people like that. Gun seasons are coming up. So what does everybody want to do? They want to sight in their rifle or their muzzleloader. There's lines starting to pick up at some of these ranges. So to combat that, we tell people, hey, before you get there, you can go on the Go app or Go Outdoors Tennessee. Buy your permits before you show up. You don't have to get in that line. You just show them, hey, I got my permit. Go right in, get your guns checked,
that's
and you can start shooting.
Sounds like my wife at Cracker Barrel. On the way over, she's got us a seat already.
Yeah.
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We got a great show lined up for you today. It's all about R3, Hunter Ed, ranges. It's going to be fun, Don.
All that good stuff. Hey, looking forward to this day. I'm going to learn a lot. And hey, before we get going, though, Jason, let's give a little shout out to one of our radio station partners.
Definitely.
WMCH 1260 AM. They are in Church Hill, Tennessee, and that's in the Tri-Cities area. And we are all over that station. 5:30 p.m. on Wednesdays and Saturday at 7:30 a.m. And then the extras run during the week as well. So anyway, we appreciate them. WMCH 1260.
Yeah, we appreciate those guys. We appreciate all our radio partners for getting the show out there. We appreciate the listeners and the guys and gals who watch the show out there. Thanks for following us. Thanks for watching, listening, liking, sharing, all that fun stuff.
We're everywhere.
Yes. We're everywhere. And today we're all over the state with ranges, Hunter Ed.
That's right.
All kinds of fun stuff. So we got Matt Clarey with us today. He's our R3 coordinator, just taking on that role. We're going to learn about that. And then we have Randy Husky with us today. He's our Hunter Ed administrator and works with our ranges and things like that. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Let's jump in and learn a little bit about you guys, first of all. And I know, Matt, you've been on the show a few times. Randy, you've been on with us before, but just kind of let folks know who we are, what you do, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm Matt Clarey. I've been with the agency about 24 years, but most of my career was spent over in Region 3 over in the Crossville office doing hunter education, boating safety, and a little bit of law enforcement training. So I've had my hands in the Hunter Ed basket, I guess you could say, for a long time.
Yeah.
And then back in June, I took on a role called the R3 coordinator. And if nobody knows what R3 is, it's recruit, retain, reactivate. So the agency is tasked with that, and looking forward to working with the agency, the different divisions, and then also outside the agency as well with some of our partners.
Very cool. Yeah. And you were in law enforcement for a while. You were an officer, right? Started out as an officer?
Started out as an officer in Polk County, Tennessee, and moved up the ranks a few years later, and actually still do have my commission, so I still get to go out and play with the guys and the officers and get to do that kind of thing. So it's fun.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Randy. East Tennessee boy, right?
Yeah. I started out in Monroe County as an officer. I worked there for about 15 years. Then I moved to Nashville and eventually took the role of the Hunter Ed administrator.
Awesome.
Been doing that for about 15 years now. And just recently I got tasked with administering the Hunter Ed centers and the ranges. So
awesome. Yeah.
Kind of wearing a little different hat now, which I'm looking forward to. I've got good staff to work with at the ranges. Got some really good guys with a lot of experience. Been running these ranges for a long time, and they really know what they're doing. And that, more importantly, man, they love what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are taking it upon themselves to improve the ranges and to improve the shooting experience for the customer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you both are here today. and excited to
and
get
welcome
into some of this.
welcome Mac to Nashville. You
Yeah,
know. He's getting, he and his wife are getting used to the traffic patterns a little bit, and it's kind of a different deal from Crossville, I'm sure. And,
yeah, definitely. We lived in Cleveland for the last 4 years or so, and if anybody knows where Cleveland, Tennessee is, just north of Chattanooga, and it's like a mini Chattanooga. I think Cleveland got me ready for the Nashville.
Okay, there you
what
go.
happened here, but yeah, as long as everybody's going in the same direction, I'm good with it. You know, and I get to kind of veer off and go to the woods every once in a while. But yeah, definitely, I appreciate the welcome, and yeah, we're definitely getting used to it.
That's good.
Well, with your new role, let's dive into what the division's going to be working on, the R3 division, and what they're going to be focused on, and kind of remind folks what R3 is.
Yeah, so I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, the agency started talking about R3 really heavily, and it's really kind of the same thing we do every day.
Been doing it a long time.
Yeah, it's the same type of stuff we've been doing forever, but it's just a different mentality. So when you think about R3, you think about what do I do every day that affects the agency or affects how people look at hunting or fishing or shooting or anything that we do, you know, compared to what people do outside the agency. So it's that mentality that I'm trying to get people to understand and think about, so that the next time they're out there, they'll think about what they're doing to affect somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I think one of the biggest things about R3, the recruitment, retention, reactivation, is that it's more a holistic approach from the agency standpoint. It used to be that, you know, there were divisions between the divisions, so to speak. You know, the wildlife did their thing and Hunter Ed did their thing. Yeah. And now we realize over time, and it's been kind of a national movement with the R3 thing, that you know, hey, we're going to have to do something and be a little bit more holistic in how we approach this whole thing and get more people involved, the front desk folks and the folks that work in IT, just with a different, like you said, Matt, a different mindset about R3 and how they can contribute to it.
Right, and in any company or agency, there's so much division anyways. Somebody's in this division or that division, and really we're trying to get everybody together and trying to do cross-division communication, whether it be working together, figuring out or finding out what they're doing. It kind of affects what I'm doing. So it's going to be an exciting time for the next 5 years, I think, just to see how our agency reacts to that, and then hopefully we can get back to being more of a cohesive family again, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
And not only is what they're doing affecting this or that, but how can we help you? As communications help R3, and as, you know, wildlife, R3 help R3, you know, whatever, going back and forth. So that's, you know, how can everybody work together and get to the same goal?
Yeah, and the other cool thing is it's not just our agency, it's nationwide.
Yeah.
It's crazy how big this is getting and how more people are getting involved. There's more nonprofit agencies that are popping up to help agencies work through those things, and to, you know, even some of the funding that we have, we're sharing that, and we're saying, okay, we can't do it all, but can you help us?
Yeah.
And can we figure out what's going on? Surveys are huge. We're trying to figure out what people want before we give it to them. Mm-hmm. That's easier than doing what we've been doing for 20 or 30 years and saying, why isn't this working? Well, it's because we're not giving them what they want. So
they need,
that's another whole big process that we're working through too. So, yeah, it's just it's new stuff, but it's putting it to the old stuff that we've been doing for a while. You know, people think it's just a program. It's not a program. It's actually a way of thinking and a new way to do business.
And a lot of people don't realize that our funding, you know, the majority of it that we do business with, that we manage all the wildlife in Tennessee, comes from license sales.
Yeah, license sales, but then also people that may not hunt or fish.
Right.
You know, so, you know, we're talking to talk about some ranges today. The reason a lot of our money comes back is through those shooters, buying those guns, that ammunition. Those things actually go back to conservation, and that's what we love about getting everybody together and letting them know that we all work together at this. Not just the shooters are doing this and the hunters are doing this, but we're all kind of working together at the same venue. So
yeah, definitely. Well, let's jump into that. Ranges. We were chatting the other day. You sent me an email. It's like, we need to remind folks about this, or educate people on the ranges and things that's going on, and that's why we're here today.
Yeah, I'll just touch on a little bit and let Randy kind of take over on what's going on there. But the main thing is it's hunting season is coming, or we're in it, but gun seasons are coming up. So what does everybody want to do? They want to sight in their rifle or their muzzleloader. So there's lines starting to pick up at some of these ranges. So Stones River is one of our very busy ranges, and to combat that, we kind of tell people, hey, before you get there, you can go on the app, on the Go app, or Go Outdoors Tennessee.
Yeah.
Buy your permits before you show up. You don't have to get in that line. You just show them, hey, I got my permit. Go right in, get your guns checked,
Yeah, that's
and
the
you
way
can
to
start
go.
shooting. So those are some things that you can think about, pre-planning before you get out there.
Sounds like my wife at Cracker Barrel. On the way over, she's got us a seat already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get your seat before you get there?
Just about. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You just report in.
Same thing at the ranges, It's like Matt said. Go ahead and sign up and get your place in line. And
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Cracker Barrel ain't got nothing on us.
That's right.
So page 46 of the hunting guide, the current hunting guide, is TWRA firing ranges. You can check out the permit fees on page 6. So 46 and 6 in the hunting guide. But Matt, you've got the prices in front of you there, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna share some of that, and then
Real quick, the tier 1 ranges, which is our smaller ranges, like at our WMAs and stuff, they're going to be $5 for 2 hours, or you can buy an annual one for $100. Tier 2 ranges like Stones River and
John
Severe.
Yep.
I forgot it. Lost it right there. They're $750 for a 2-hour permit, or $150 for a year. And then our last one, our tier 3, which we only have one, which is our indoor range in Bartlett. It's $950 for an hour and $300 for a annual permit. Those permits are ready to go on the app, and you guys can take care of that before you get there.
and those prices are very reasonable.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to other ranges.
Compared to private ranges, I'm sure they are. Yeah. Well, and I just flipped over to page 6, and tier 1 permits are not required for annual license holders, correct?
That's true. So if you got the combo license or sportsman's or whatever,
You're good to go.
You're good to go on that one. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, Randy, what's going on at the ranges these days? What's folks going to? They're going to see improvements. They're going to see what's the offerings and all kinds of stuff.
Definitely. Like I said earlier, our range managers, man, these guys are. They're on top of things, and they've been doing it a while. Most of them been there for several years, and they're always improving their ranges. They're always looking for something to do to improve that range and to improve the experience for the shooters. One thing we got going at Stones River, which should be rolled out maybe January, February, hopefully, is we're looking to do a steel challenge course, which the shooter will be able to come up and pay the fee for an hour. They get to shoot the steel challenge course.
Do they have to wear their boots and spurs for this one?
They can if they want.
Yeah, if they want to, I'm sure.
It sounds like a Western game.
But it consists of the plates. You can shoot the steel plates. You can shoot dueling trees. Challenge your buddy to a dueling tree. That's pretty
cool.
awesome. They got the Texas Star, which I don't know if y'all shot that, but
I have not.
That's real challenging. That's a series of plates on a rotating target.
Oh, wow.
And when you shoot it, it'll go back and forth, and it's real challenging. But Tim Turrentine at Stones River has really been on the ball developing this course and getting this going, and it's, man, for that price, you're not going to beat that anywhere to come out and shoot steel and challenge your friends to a dueling tree or a plate challenge or whatever you want to shoot. And it's that's going to be a lot of fun for Stones River.
If you need some test runs, holler at me. I'd love to give it a shot.
And Stones River, and Tim's also developed is in the process of putting together a flurry machine and creating a course based on those flurry machines. He's going to build a platform, and people can come out and pay for the use of that range. And I don't know if you know what a flurry machine is exactly, but it's a series of throwers, and they throw birds at any height, any direction, and you don't know where they're going to go, and they all come out. There'll just be
very random.
a flurry of birds. It's a flurry machine. It just throws a bunch of clay targets in the air, and you and your buddy or 5 of your buddies can stand there and shoot it and challenge each other and
that's cool.
See who can hit them and who cannot. And it's a lot of fun. That's going to be a lot of fun for shooters. Shooters are going to enjoy that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Make sure you bring a lot of shotgun shells.
Yeah.
You're going to shoot a lot.
It's addictive, man. It's like you start shooting, you're like, man, I've already went through 2 boxes of shells.
Exactly.
Well, that's good you bring that up. We don't offer shells for sale at these ranges. It's only the permit and the targets are there and things like that. But you got to bring your own ammo, bring your own guns, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep, make sure you bring your own ammo.
Yeah, and bring it unloaded, correct? Bring the guns unloaded.
Oh, absolutely.
Cased, all those rules,
We have an inspection station. You got to bring it cased and unloaded, and you got to go through the inspection inspection station just to make sure.
Sure.
Just safety on our ranges. That's the number one thing. We don't want anybody to get hurt. So,
Nope.
So be sure to bring your firearm in a case.
Yeah.
Unloaded.
Well, and talk about that too, safety side on like a tier 1 range on WMAs, how that, you're on your own there, right? It's on you to be safe.
Pretty much. I mean, sometimes they may be one of our employees there just checking on things, possibly. Sometimes there are some volunteers that work some of these unmanned ranges, believe it or not, that are there. But still, you're pretty much on your own. So, you got to be aware of the people around you that are shooting around you. Watch what they're doing, before you go down range. Make sure it's clear. Y'all communicate and make sure that that you are operating on a cold range if you're going to go down range. And there again, bring that firearm to that range unloaded and cased as well. I mean, that's just respect for your other shooters.
Sure.
I mean, you see a guy come in with a rifle in his hand coming to the range. It's a little unnerving. Bring that firearm in cased and unloaded and
pointed in the safe direction, all that good stuff.
You got to be extra safe, man, because you don't have that range safety officer looking down the line and making sure that it's cold range or hot range.
Yeah.
So just be extra safe on those ranges.
And I'll throw this out there too, as far as clean up and things. Pick up after yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got, like you said, we've got some volunteers. We got our guys out there when they can be. Other times they're working the field and whatnot, but clean up after yourself and don't bring any TVs to shoot at, things like that. Right?
Exactly. most of these unmanned ranges are really the WMA manager has went above and beyond and created this range to allow the sportsmen to use. And it's really, in addition, an extra burden on him to come out there.
It's not like they don't have anything else.
No, they've got plenty. They got plenty of things to do. This is just kind of an extra thing that a lot of them have took on themselves, and just like Jason said, take care of that range.
Yeah, awesome. Leave it better than you found it.
Yeah,
that's what we always say when you're hunting too. When you go on somebody else's property, and they
one more thing that we're working on right now too for our hunter ed centers is we're working on a kiosk. Matt mentioned earlier to go ahead and sign up on the app before you get there. That really helps with the range staff with getting you processed and getting you in the range as quick as possible, because at some points, Stones River and John Sevier both, I mean, they'll have a line all the way through the parking lot, and they can't get everybody in. They just can't do it. So if you sign up on the app and get your place and get your permit purchased already beforehand, it really helps. But we're working on a kiosk system too for people that don't do that. There'll be a kiosk set up, and you can go up to that kiosk and sign in and pay and all that stuff, and that's going to help too. Versus going to the window and having to pay cash, or you don't have cash, you got to go to the ATM, and it just holds up everything.
Well, that's good to know. So our ranges are cash only, or is that the case? Or
we can take a credit card, but it don't always work. John Sevier and Stones River, the connections are so bad. And they have to type them in by hand. The numbers by hand sometimes, and still that don't work.
So that's why it takes a little bit. It takes a little while.
It takes a long time.
Easier to get it before you go.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Definitely.
Very good. Very good. And we all know shooting's important, right, Don?
Yes.
I mean, a lot of these shooters that come are not even hunters, right?
Yeah, Matt touched on that a little bit ago about what kind of numbers are there percentage-wise, Matt, you think, that are shooters that aren't necessarily hunters?
Yeah, so we just got some survey data back, and it looks like we've got about 75% of shooters actually don't hunt.
Wow.
Or firearms owners in that same group. But yeah, so we're kind of working with that data to kind of figure out how do we cater to them, or how do we reach out to them and let them know that they're helping conservation as well? Because some of them don't even know that. Most of them don't care. They're like, that's great because it's a good thing. Obviously, most people like warm and fuzzy things, and critters and are kind of warm and fuzzy sometimes. So people like that, and they're good with their money going towards that. But we want them to be a little bit more informed about where their money's going, so that way maybe down the road they can help us back tenfold on that too. So just that same R3 aspect, everybody's getting together and understanding where things are going and where it's coming from, and so I think it's going to help.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, let's jump into some other things coming out of y'all's shop. What's some of the stuff y'all are working on? I know Hunter Ed's big, and some intro classes are coming up. Let's Kind of what's going on?
Yeah, well, we've piloted a few programs. John Severe, Chad Gann, our range manager up there, has been real proactive and started it's kind of an introduction to handguns, but it's more of a handgun carry class that he's doing. But we're going to kind of take that to the next step, and we're going to start offering these introduction to handgun courses across the state. We've got to get some instructors certified, but we want to roll that out along with all these 101 classes. We got big ideas. We want to do introduction to archery, introduction to rifles, introduction to turkey hunting, small game hunting. We've got a list of classes that we've already got developed. We just need to start teaching. And actually, some of our instructors, our hunter ed instructors, have jumped on that wagon. And have already started these. We've had some instructors in Montgomery County teach some introduction to turkey hunting, introduction to archery classes, and have had some big classes actually. A lot of interest in these classes.
Awesome.
And the classes have they've just done very well.
You talk about passion from hunter ed volunteer. Those guys and gals are sold out.
Those guys are
totally
I can't say enough about those guys. I love those guys. I love being around that group of people. I mean, they volunteer their time to come out and teach people something that they love, and they love it. And you can tell when they teach a class how much they love that class. They put their soul and their heart into it, and of course all their time. I mean, they volunteer hundreds of hours a year. These guys are just super dedicated and Matt knows as well as I do, man, these guys would do anything for the program. They love it. I can't say enough about those guys. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. And then trapping. I mean, do these hunter ed volunteers help with the trapping courses as well?
Some of them do. Some of them are trappers, but most of the trappers are a different bunch. They're super dedicated as well. But they're usually from the trapper associations usually. Those are the ones that come out and teach the classes. A lot of our officers are actually teaching some of those classes as well. And we have some trapper education trailers throughout the state that we use for the trapping education program. You got to carry a lot of equipment around when you're teaching the trapper education class.
It's not just a rifle on the shoulder and a tree stand or something.
You can't just show up. You got to have your trailer full of stuff. It takes a lot of equipment, but we have several of those educational trailers, and we do several of those classes a year. So
nice.
You may want to keep your eye out for the trapper education classes.
Yeah, I know. A big one at Buffalo Ridge, a big one at Hiawassee, right? So, keep an eye out for those classes. Those are always fun. Learn a lot, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Just kind of roll back a little bit. You talk about volunteers and working inside the agency, but also reaching out to those groups outside. And a Hunting and Fishing Academy was recently on a show, but they're a big part of what we do as far as educating. They do a lot of intro classes as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we couldn't do it without them. I mean, just because we do have a big pool of instructors and, of course, agency employees that work. But then also we've got some partners, like you said, Federation. The Tennessee Wildlife Federation is helping us a big way. If you look at our Teterbray event calendar, just look at all the intro classes that are listed. They may be virtual or they may be in person. There's even some hunting opportunities that you may be able to get involved with, whether you be a youth or a lady or possibly a family can get together and go hunting together. So check that out. We've got big resources. They got lots of land that they can utilize that they've made some connections with. So lots of big things going on. We're partnering with lots of different groups like that. Artemis is one. It's a women's group that hunts and fishes together, and they recently just got a lease of land over in Crab Orchard, Tennessee, and they've got applicants that put in for that lease, and it's a bunch of girls getting together going hunting. So it's a pretty cool deal. And we help fund that program. So it's a great thing.
Nice.
I could name off about 10 more, but we can't do it without them. I mean, I think it spreads that dollar so much farther. It helps our time as well, because we only got so much time. But yeah, that's always been the goal, I think, of the agency, but I think we're finally seeing the fruits of those labors. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. Hear those ladies. I mean, you got that the group. Oh man, I put myself on the spot there.
Kate,
Kate Joyner and her group in Nashville, and then you got that group and doing that, and crab orchard. That's awesome. That's awesome to see those ladies getting out there and just doing it.
It is. It's about making things replicable too. We're teaching them things to get them started.
Yeah.
But then we got to bring them along. We got to show that support. And that's that retention side of the 3 R's that we talk about. And the agency does a really good job at recruiting because it's kind of easy. You do your intro classes, you do your pre-fishing days, whatever those things.
Weekends.
Yeah. We can introduce it to them because that's pretty easy for us to do. But we can't go with that child or that lady or whoever for 3 years.
Right.
Because if you remember the first time you went hunting fish, that wasn't the first and the only time you were taken out.
Yeah.
It took a few times. You had to learn the things. You had to go to hunter education. You had to get the gear. You had all those things. It takes a while. So we understand that we can't do everything.
Right.
So that's why we partner with these groups to help with that retention side.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, and it's not only hunting, it's not only shooting, it's fishing too.
Yes.
You got David Lowry running around with fishing trailers, and I hear there's maybe 2 or 3 more in the works. And
yeah, we got a couple more made up this past summer. I say made up, put together, and put out to a couple regions, and we're hoping that we got enough money in the budget this next spring, and we'll maybe get a couple more. And that's just getting more poles in hands is what we're doing. To get more people out there doing community fishing events, small groups. Some actually companies do some team building things.
That's pretty neat. Yeah. The corporate.
I think we need to do that more. Some team building.
I believe it. It's
Get
just
the divisions out there.
creek fishing or something.
Yeah. Do a little competition, a little friendly competition.
So David's running all over the state for that, but also, like I said, we've used those dollars to spread the love to the regions to where we've got fisheries people doing stuff, we've got outreach people doing stuff. So it just depends on who's wants to do it. That's why we always go to those people. We don't make people do it. We say, hey, who wants to do this, and we'll roll with it. So, if you're looking for something to do or need something for a group, let us know and we can get you in line with David.
Yeah.
And when that trailer shows up, it's got everything you need. It's a one-stop deal.
That's right. He's even got worms and probably a can of Coke or something in there.
Snacks, all kinds of fun
Heck
stuff. Well, I just wanted to pull up the guide here real quick while we're talking about it. $33 for a hunting and fishing combo. Just to go fishing, it's inexpensive, and that's all year. You can fish all year for $33. It's kind of the gateway to getting into the outdoors. It's an easy way to get into the outdoors and
it really
get started.
That's one of the main sports that we have that we really see an increase in that just about every year, or it stays pretty much the same. So, but we still like bringing people in because that could bleed into another sport that we have. So we're definitely, if you want to learn about something more about outdoors, try fishing. I think you'll like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let's say one of you on the spot here and jump in, whoever wants to. But in your years of experience, what's been one of those stories that just stands out to you where y'all have mentored somebody or been on a hunt or something like that?
Gosh.
Go.
Don't both speak at once.
I mean, you've both been a big part of the BOW stuff and youth hunting events and things.
I can maybe jump in real quick, and then Randy maybe possibly. But we were talking about Kate.
Yeah.
Actually, I was one of the first people that taught her how to shoot a gun at a Becoming Outdoors Women event 9 years ago, I think it was.
Wow, yeah.
And she just got hooked, and ever since then, she's been progressively getting closer, and now she's
passed it on. Yeah.
Now we're partnering with her little company to help promote this program.
Yeah.
So it's great.
You got a quick one there, Randy?
I've had some students in hunter education that, man, when they kill their first deer and they come up and tell me about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
definitely.
just, I have them as a student and they come up and tell you about their first deer. I mean, that's happened multiple times.
Yeah.
That's always a good one.
Yep.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah, definitely. And I always remember my times going out with Randy hunting together, man.
Yeah, we used to
hunt a little bit. Now we're so busy.
A lot. I know, yeah. We used to hunt a lot.
Yeah, public land stuff.
Yeah, we need to get back into that.
Let's do it.
All right.
We'll do a little segment.
I'll bring a video
Yeah.
camera.
There you go.
There we
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this has been fun, guys. Thanks for the info. Thanks for sharing your passion for the outdoors and passing it on. Yeah.
Keep up the great work.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, well, this is Tennessee WildCast. Keep coming back, keep watching, keep listening, liking, sharing, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.